What's going on, everybody? It's the Beer One back with another beer review, and we got a newcomer to the show up here from Folklore out of Dothan, Alabama. They're actually a brewery and a meadery. Meadery is just what's the word? Fermented honey, pretty much, essentially. I'm sure there's other things that go into making mead, but it is fermented honey at the core of it. Anyways, we're not talking about mead. We're talking about Front Porch Pale Ale. Folklore's been making waves in the competition scene. They were the only craft brewery to get a medal in the Great American Beer Festival, which is one of the most most prestigious competitions in the country for professional brewers. There's a pro-am circuit, but the pro-am circuit is for like well-trained home brewers teaming up with professional breweries. So it's still not even like an amateur league or anything. But yeah, Front Porch was not the one that medaled. Their Shadowcaster Porter, it medaled bronze in the 2019, which will be last year's Great American Beer Festival. And so I'm hoping, I'm hoping the Front Porch Pale Ale is as good as the Porter is. I don't know if I said this already, but they're from Dothan, Alabama, and they've been around for, if they haven't been around for 7 years, they're coming up on their 7th year anniversary. It even says on the can they've been around since 2013. This is my first beer from Folklore. For some reason, I've never picked up a beer from Folklore, and that changed. Pulled the trigger on it. This is supposed to be, so it's 40 IBUs and 6% alcohol, so sessionable beer for you hop heads out there. 40 IBUs, probably be enough hop presence for you in a pale ale. So this looks like a fantastic beer. It's a rich golden color, very pearly white head. Creamy and frothy. I tend to like frothier heads. About a finger a head, finger and a quarter a head. There's some action going on in here. Plenty of bubbles rising to the top. It's definitely a deep haze. There's not too much clarity going on in there. I would assume there's like some dust-like particulate matter in here. However, I can't see anything. I'm just kind of going by what I would expect from an unfiltered beer. Great head retention. Just sitting right on top. Almost reminds me of something like a Belgian beer or something. So I will say this came in August of last year, so it's fairly old, and I want to say in the aroma, the hops are somewhat still holding up. I'm getting, I don't really get soap. I washed my hands recently. I'm getting more of a citrusy touch of pine. I think they're just indicative of hops in general. They just have, I feel like all hops just have a touch, just a smidge of pine or grass in them, just by nature. I'm getting a lot of citrus in here. Sorry, I was trying to search around. Maybe there's just a touch of sweet malt in here. It's kind of a delicate nose for me, at least anyways. I feel like there's, it's either the age of this being a 10 months old, 8, 9, 10 months old, or maybe it's just got a delicate nose in general, and some of the aroma just escapes me. Either way, I'm pleased with what I'm smelling as far as that, as far as the citrus coming off the hops goes. Still hoppy, to an extent. I mean, this is a pale ale, not an IPA, but I feel like the age on this thing has really subdued the beer. I get like fading bitterness, fading citrus. A general sweet, crackery maltiness in here. Nothing overpowering. It's got a very drying finish. Really makes me want to go back for another beer. I'm not familiar with the pale ale category. I don't drink a lot of pale ales. I tend to just go straight for an IPA, or I back it off and go something lighter than a pale ale. Not that pale ales are bad or anything, but it's just a category I tend to gloss over for whatever reason that is. Carbonation is very quickly in here. A lot of activity going on with the carbonation. And that's roughly about it. I don't feel like there's much going on in here. And I'm going to say the age of that can, the age of this beer in that can has a lot to do with that. I don't think what I find wrong with this specific beer has anything to do with Front Porch Pale Ale's recipe, how it was brewed, the brewing master, Folklore itself. I think I just bought an old can and it's fading. It's not as robust, I guess, as I would assume it is fresh on the tap. I'm definitely gonna have to revisit this beer and give it a fair shake. So from just personal experience, by this beer, I can't recommend Front Porch Pale Ale because I don't know for sure how good it is. Although based on its age and how it tastes at this age, I would imagine this is a pretty tasty beer, fresh from the tap or by a 6-pack straight from the brewery. Popping one when you get home. Not letting it sit around for too long. Let's see here. American Pale Ale brewed with German malt, West Coast hops, refreshing finish. Maybe they use Pilsner malt in here. Maybe that's the drying finish and all the carbonation. West Coast hops. You know, it's not dank for West Coast. I mean, it's not New England IPA citrusy, but I wouldn't classify this as dank. That could be the recipe as well. I don't know. Recommendations, just pale ale in general. Think of pale ale as a gateway to IPA. It's going to be stronger than Pilsner or most light lagers. It's going to be a hop forward beer, but it's not going to be like, it's not going to fry your taste buds. It's not going to be as powerful as an IPA. So I think pale ales are a good like stepping stone beer. I think once you acquire the taste for pale ales, if you're coming from the enthusiast side, you've been drinking beer for a long time, I think pale ales are good for your summertime drinkers, game day beers, hanging out at the barbecue, and you want a beer you don't have to think about. It's going to provide enough flavor in the beer, along with being very sessionable and still light as far as the drinkability factor goes. Coming from the beginner side, I think this would be, I think pale ale is a good introduction to hops and what hops can do for you and beer, especially for someone that comes from the light beer, like the macro lagers and stuff. As far as the score goes, I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 5. That's not to say if I give this a fair shake, I fully expect for this to be a high B, low A type of beer, fresh off the tap or fresh in the can. Just however, with the age, I'm going to have to call it like it is, 2.5 out of 5. It's a meh beer, not a lot going on, and it seems like the character is fading in the beer. But that wraps it up for me, guys. Not a long review. I did look up the Front Porch Pale Ale on the website. They didn't have much to say about it, so that's why I didn't go into detail on the beer. Folklore Brewing and Eatery Front Porch Pale Ale, 2.5 out of 5. Until next time, guys. Cheers.